Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Saturday Night Freak Show podcast, the movie review and talk show podcast that comes your way every Saturday, whether you're ready for it or not. These are the Internet Radio Superstars.
Sean.
Holly. Michaela.
And I'm Colin. And tonight we watched a movie that was chosen by...
Colin.
I almost said my name was Ramrod.
I was like, did Colin choose this movie or did Destiny put us on the path?
Car Ramrod.
Right, it sure feels that way.
Car Ramrod.
Colin was just the vessel tonight.
Yeah, the conduit from which the spirit came
through. Yeah.
Colin, what do we watch tonight?
Tonight we watched a movie called Vice Squad.
Been on my list for a while.
It seems like we have talked about this movie
have.
for a
Been
while.
circling it for like
we have
the
from the
entire,
year.
Yes.
the entire life of the
13
freaking
years.
Yeah.
From the year 1982,
82. Okay, directed by
Gary Sherman.
Gary Sherman. Do we know Gary Sherman?
He's
Anything?
a Chicago guy. He made well, I get prior to this, right? He made his first movie actually is a notable movie, is a British movie with Donald Pleasance in it. It's called, well, that's not the name that I knew it under. I knew it as Raw Meat.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
The-
Raw Meat.
Yeah, it's the
What a name.
Cannibal on the Tube, movie.
Cannibal on the subway.
With Donald Pleasance.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, mind the door. That's the only line.
Mind the
yeah.
gap. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Well,
yeah.
this was-
Yeah,
Is this how we get Hodor? Hold the door. Okay, no.
right.
Okay,
It's
raw,
not
really?
too bad.
Wow.
I need
Raw
to
Meat.
see this movie.
Raw meat.
Yeah.
Raw meat.
Christopher Lee shows up for like a cameo, but like Donald Pleasance
Putting
is
it
in
on the list.
and then he made a movie called Dead and Buried.
Yeah.
Which this is one I have seen this VHS cover for my
Yeah.
entire life and still have never seen this movie. You guys are going to recognize
Yeah,
this.
from the
Bringing new
creators
Instantly.
of
Oh,
yes.
Alien. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I've seen the cover so many times, I feel like I've seen the movie, but
Oh,
I
so you haven't seen Dead
No,
and Buried.
I haven't-
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't seen that either.
Oh,
It's a video nasty written by Dan O'Bannon. All right.
yeah.
Put
And
it on
Ronald
the list.
Shusett.
And I was like,
Oh,
put
yeah.
that
You
on
just
made the list.
Jeez.
Stan
And then,
Winston
And
makeup
then
effects.
one more.
Oh, he's got a great one in there.
Yeah.
And then, well, he did Vice Squad. After Vice Squad, he did a movie called Wanted Dead or Alive with Rutger Hauer and Gene Simmons.
If Bon Jovi didn't do the
Rutger
theme
Hauer
song.
and Gene Simmons. huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
It has
Those
a
are
really
two
memorable
faces.
grenade. in the
Those are two
mouth.
faces.
Those are two faces.
Yeah.
And then he did Poltergeist 3,
Indeed.
and
Which
that one
takes
was
place in
cursed.
Chicago.
Yeah, because that's the one Heather O'Rourke, right?
Yeah, they had to
She-
shoot a lot of stand-ins. And
I
what
thought she
have
died
you.
after
She
it was
did,
shot,
but I think
before it was
she
released.
did, but I think there was some stuff where she was sick during it, where they had
Yeah,
to,
something.
Yeah, use some stand-ins and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
remember. But,
Okay,
like,
but
she
the-
soldiered through and did that one. 'Cause she
The
loved
rest
it.
of the cast is awesome, too. Tom Skerritt, Nancy Allen, Lara Flynn Boyle.
Which one's this
Wow,
one?
for Poltergeist,
Poltergeist
3.
3.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, it's a pretty stacked cast for
Yeah.
the third Poltergeist
the
movie.
second two are worth checking out if you only know like the first one.
Yeah.
The second two are interesting.
Okay.
if
Yeah,
nothing
because
else.
the preacher comes back.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
different guy, but a different actor.
Yeah,
but-
there's some weird shit.
All
All right.
So
Vice
Gary
Squad.
Sherman is like a guy who I think directed a lot of cult movies that are well regarded and kind of went off the map for a while because of the availability of them
Sure.
on video. Much like Vice Squad, right? Vice Squad never made it to DVD, so it skipped the entire DVD era. And then only recently, I think the Shout Factory Blu-ray release kind of like said, okay, now you can actually watch this movie that's been talked about, for years.
Why? Because it's starring.
Okay,
fine.
so we did the Tough Guys Don't Dance episode
We did,
that
we did,
unfortunately killed Wings Hauser.
It did indeed. Holly killed Wings Hauser.
I did.
It was
I did.
the week that we decided to do it. Unfortunately, Wings Hauser passed away, so it felt like we had to do a tribute to
Right.
Wings Hauser. So that's like, this is the Wings Hauser movie.
Since we killed him.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
The least we should do
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
to celebrate the man with his most vile role.
Good God, what a performance. I am
Oh.
repelled by how authentic this performance is. It's disgusting.
His role, everyone going along with the role.
Yes.
There's a lot of fingers and mouths in this movie. And
Yeah,
it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, just
This has an intensity meter, I guess, for an actor that's like,
He
wow.
is trash.
Yeah.
It's got a great tagline, and I don't know, was this the original tagline for this?
I think so.
Because it says, well, this was 81.
Yeah,
It is a
82.
good tagline.
On the street, the real trick is staying alive.
Yeah.
Which
Staying
is-
alive.
What, on the street, the real
trick.
trick
Yep.
is staying alive. Also, this is, and I don't know if it came afterwards, because this is a very good tagline for the original Halloween. That is, the trick is staying alive. And I don't know when that came in during the life of the Halloween franchise, but it kind of plays off that. But that's a really great.
That's a good.
That's a good line for
tagline
this movie. Yeah.
You know, I feel like Wings Hauser, just his face alone is enough to play a villain, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's got that same kind of Michael Rooker kind of look almost,
Yeah.
but
Just
more,
the intensity.
but his is more demented somehow.
Because
Like
he's
his
got the crazy eyes.
Yeah.
His picture on the wall should be a little bit bigger than everybody else's.
Yes.
He's got that stare,
Yes.
and he's constantly looking at you, and the eyes follow
Yeah,
around
But
him.
I mean this in the best way possible. With a face like that, you could phone in this performance and it would still be amazing.
Yes, indeed.
And he cranks it up as much as he possibly can, and
Right.
it's just all the more terrifying for it.
And it's very
Wings,
funny
Wings
'cause-
always goes all in.
He does,
Always.
and it's very funny because I want to know, and I know Wings Hauser only in movies, and I don't know what he is behind the scenes and everything, because we were all wondering, kind of watching this movie, like,
I need to believe he's a
I
good
hope he's the
person.
nicest dude in the
Yeah,
world
yeah.
for all of this. For this, I mean, and considering he continued acting for a while,
Oh, yeah.
you figure like he's not an asshole. Like he's very convincing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So who is Wings Hauser? For
Ramrod.
the folks who are no, I mean like if you don't know who this guy is,
Yeah.
because I mean you've probably seen him in a bunch of stuff,
Yeah,
right?
you can't miss him.
So his this is Gerald Hauser. He got his name Wings from he was a football player in high school, so he became Wings
Was he
Hauser.
fast?
Apparently so. He was in a band briefly because that's what he was trying to do, and the band was called
Hopefully Wings.
Vision of Sunshine. But we talked about this before.
You passed over that way too quick. You
Yeah,
said,
because
band's called Visions of Sunshine.
I'm trying to get to the great part. We talked about it one other time that he was on, I think, because his stage name was Wings Livin' Right.
It's bad.
That was
It's bad. We don't like that.
And then he became an actor on The Young and the Restless, and he broke into movies with Vice Squad, right? After this, I didn't know this. He wrote the story for the movie Uncommon Valor that starred Gene Hackman was in it, Fred
really?
Ward, Patrick Swayze, Reb Brown. It's a Vietnam War.
Ding.
Yeah, that was written by Wings Hauser, even though I don't believe that he's in it. Other stuff that, obviously we saw Tough Guys Don't Dance.
A lot
You
of
guys
TV,
had seen him in
a lot of the
Beverly.
CBS and Fox shit, Criminal Minds, The Mentalist, Bones,
Any
House,
show that's been
Kingpin,
on TV,
Jag. Like,
yeah.
he's been in everything.
Do you want to hear about what kind of guy he was?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you wanna know?
Well, is it good
I
news?
was
Do you
gonna say,
wanna
do we
know?
want to know?
Yeah.
I'm asking. Let's ask you. Do we want to know?
You do.
Okay.
Okay.
He was known as a good guy with the biggest heart.
Oh.
His wife said he was her perfect partner, and he would start the day by singing her stupid little songs. His daughter called him a friend, a mentor, a dreamer, and above all, a man who loved deeply.
All
See-
right. I like this guy.
Yeah, put him in a rom-com to balance it out, please.
Apparently,
You know?
apparently everyone liked him.
Good.
I
Good.
think-
That's what I want to hear. Thank
Because
God.
when he passed, I saw a little thing from Joe Bob Briggs said he lived on a houseboat or something in Florida, and
That's badass.
around sunset he'd entertain you with a beer and stories about old Hollywood.
But
and
he
stuff like
had
that.
great stories.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So he's
Apparently
like
he was just
a
the
Matthew
nicest
McConaughey
guy.
type in real life, huh? Yeah.
Well, I guess I know that he had like substance abuse issues at some point in his life because his son Cole Hauser, who's on Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
That's it said that was a wedge between them for so many years. They, eventually reconciled. Wings was in a bunch of movies that we all often talk about. Pardon me, this era of like video store, direct to video. Sleazy movies like L.A. Bounty and Bedroom Eyes 2. They never made it to digital because they were cut together on tape.
Yeah.
So he's in like a dozen of those things. It's amazing. He's in Beastmaster 2. He was the guy in Beastmaster 2. He was in Watchers 3. We did Watchers 1 on this show.
He was in
like, years
JoJo
ago.
Dancer, Your Life is Calling.
Right, yeah, and A Soldier's Story. Okay, if we're going highbrow, right? But yeah, he passed away, what was it, March 25th at the age of 77.
Yep.
And that was
March 15th.
chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is
So
what
it's
finally
March.
got Wings Hauser. May he rest.
May he rest.
He was also in previous episode, Rubber.
Right. Yeah. Which means,
Yeah.
according
Which
to MF Mad, the Saturday Night Freak Show Wall of Fame keeper, Wings Hauser, welcome to the Saturday Night Freak Show Wall of Fame. There you go. Posthumously.
Big crazy Ed portrait going on.
Yes. I'm sad we didn't get a police sketch of his crazy face in this movie at all. It would have been might have been a little too comedic because he already looks like a cartoon character.
Right.
But I would have appreciated it.
Right.
Yeah, they would have been like, start with the eye.
Well, I always feel like, when I'm picking this movie, because, we talk about Wings Hauser, I was Vice Squad. I feel like maybe, like you're overselling it. So now that you've seen Vice Squad, is it the Wings Hauser movie? Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it the
Yeah,
Wings
I
Hauser?
think so.
Wings
I
Hauser
think so,
movie?
yeah.
I think
Just because
so.
of how unstoppable he seems to be in this movie.
He is.
Right.
Unstoppable is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. I have not seen this in print, and I'm like, I can't be the only person who thought this, so maybe I'm way off, right? I've always thought that James Cameron's The Terminator, which came out in 1984,
Yep.
was clearly inspired by Westworld, right?
Sure.
Part of it, yeah.
Is there some Vice Squad in Terminator?
It's hard to say because
Being the unstoppable force.
The
I mean,
chase through, like you got to get the girl before he gets her.
Right, and it's an LA, but I think maybe the LA-ness of it all maybe clouding your judgment in
A
that.
lot of those
I
street
think.
scenes kind of look the
Yeah,
same.
because there's a lot of the chase scenes and the cars and all that stuff. I think that
yeah,
maybe
it's like, could it be inspired? Maybe, or could
Sure.
it just be like the standard trope of an
I
LA,
think
of an
so.
LA
I think
crime
that
movie
might
like
be,
that?
crime,
Yeah.
cops, LA,
Yeah.
the 80s. It kind of was just this.
Because I do feel like we saw a lot of similar shots in Angel too.
Yeah, like
Angel
it's
was a
hard
lot
to
of-
like.
Yeah.
I think the thing is like when you make a movie like this, being in this time in LA, that's a character.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
And
So
yeah.
you're gonna link the movies like that together because
Yeah.
it's gonna have that same
Maxine?
feel. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thought about Maxine a lot watching this movie.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, yeah. I mean, we when we saw Maxine, we were crediting Angel, but yeah, there is shared blood here. I think we talked about it on the Angel episode, but the guy who wrote this movie, so this originally, I think it was producer Sandy Howard wanted to make a documentary about the Los Angeles Police Department's Vice Squad.
the Zombie Squad.
Yeah. And that's a Cobra reference there. If you and that kind of metamorphosized into this. He hired one of the writers, was a guy named Robert Vincent O'Neill. And he is the guy who, like, because of the research and all that went into Vice Squad, he wrote and directed Angel.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
So, like,
Makes
that's
sense.
the same guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I always think, like this movie is primarily from the point of view of the cops, right?
Right.
Where Angel is from the point of view of the street people
Yeah.
that we see in this movie, but they're developed more in Angel.
Wow, what a double feature.
Right.
Angel is happening the same time as
Yeah.
this movie. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, just just a little down the street.
We just follow different
Susan
people. Yeah.
Tyrell's running around. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different ends of the strip.
Right.
Yep, yep,
exactly.
yep.
I
Yeah.
love it.
And let's see, who else do we have? So Wings Hauser is our antagonist, and our protagonist is
Is it season?
Season
Hubley?
Hubley?
I was like,
Hubley?
is it the girl or the
Yeah.
cop?
right. That's I
Yeah.
think when I always think of this movie, I see it's Ramrod and Susan Hubley, Princess, and I totally
Gary
forget
Swanson?
about Gary Swanson. The
Yeah.
cop. So Gary Swanson is the head of the Vice Squad.
Yep.
I think he's supposed to be like the lead of the movie. It feels like then it's a three-hander, right? It's like
Yeah.
the pimp, his target, the hooker, and the guy who's trying to save her or capture him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but they pretty much share it, I think.
And I think we looked up. Michaela said that he had a little bit of Steve McQueen energy to him.
Yeah, he's got that vibe, that look a little bit, but
Yeah, but
apparently not many credits.
Not really. It was, it's Vice Squad is like the first thing listed, and then the movie Sniper and The Bone Collector. Other stuff I haven't heard of.
Yeah, and wasn't
Not much.
Bone Collector.
To me, he looks like a mix of Michael Cera and Martin Freeman. That's what he looks like to me.
Okay. Okay.
and the Guardian.
I still see Steve McQueen.
I see,
Yeah.
I see,
Well,
I see
I mean, the way
Steve
he's
McQueen.
dressed too.
I see Steve McQueen. I see who played Steve McQueen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was what's his name?
Yeah.
Is it
From
Jeremy?
Homeland.
No.
No, and from Homeland
Yeah.
and from
Dreamcatcher.
and Dreamcatcher. And,
Oh, Damien.
Damien.
Yep.
Yep.
That's gonna bother
Ladies and
me.
gentlemen, here we
God
try not
damn
to
it.
look shit up and try and use our memories, but we're maybe failing at this point.
Fuck, what is his last name?
Damien
Walker.
I keep wanting to say
Walsh.
Chazelle, but that's the director.
No.
What
Yeah.
the fuck is his name?
Damien. Fuck. All right, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. Nobody
think
look
about
it
that
up.
one.
I hate
And the other lead then is Susan Hubley. I saw her. Have you guys ever seen Hardcore with
you gave that movie with what's his name?
George C. Scott?
George C. Scott.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it yet, but
So it's a Paul Schrader movie.
Yeah.
The guy who did Taxi Driver. There's a little bit of a tie there. But she was in that. She's really good.
Damian Lewis.
Damian Lewis. There you go. Good job. Yeah, I knew it was coming to someone. Very good.
I was sitting here thinking Lewis, and I thought that was wrong.
Yeah, it's-
Damian Lewis. Here.
God damn it!
It doesn't stick.
See, all it does
Yeah.
it takes just a couple minutes,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
boom.
Dear listener, is that as satisfying to you as it is to us when you finally think
That
of that
was-
name?
Pure memory recall.
Yes,
She
yeah.
didn't look that up.
Yeah, you could see the math floating in through
I
her
think I
mind.
have Internet Explorer running up here. It's a little bit behind, but
I
you
hate
know.
that I doubted myself
Yeah.
because I was sitting here saying Lewis. No, it's
because
not
he
Lewis.
doesn't.
No,
he
it
doesn't-
is.
He just doesn't stick with you as an actor or as a
No.
name or an entity at all. He's kind
He
of a
stuck
vapor
with me in the
person.
fact that I was like, he's a perfect Steve McQueen.
Yeah,
Right,
But,
yeah, exactly.
Like that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Or
Someday
you
we'll
can
do
cast this guy.
Dreamcatcher.
With Gary Swanson.
Swanson,
Yeah.
That's right, Gary Sherman, director.
Swanson.
Swami? Swami? Samsonite. I was way off.
I knew it started with an S though.
Well, Susan Hubley, notably, she played Priscilla Presley in John Carpenter's Elvis.
Really?
She and
What a
Kurt
connection, considering
Russell.
Wings Hauser's character loves Elvis.
Loves
He lives
Elvis.
Obsessed. Yeah.
She and
Okay,
Kurt
wow.
Russell. That was Kurt Russell's first wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the trivia I saw. Is they were getting divorced during this movie. being made.
Wow.
So, but before this, she was the chock full of nuts girl in Escape from New York.
Oh.
Okay.
You remember?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were married at the time. So
Right.
yeah, but they're getting a divorce during the making of this movie.
Wow.
So
Okay.
she's our female lead. So I guess then the question is, there was one other person in the technical crew that John Alcott is the director of photography. He
Yeah.
shot this movie, and he's like the guy who shot 2001. He shot Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon. He
Oh,
won an
wow.
Oscar. He
Right.
shot The
but
Shining.
but what have we watched that we kept bringing up those movies?
Terror Train.
Terror Train. Yeah. I was gonna say, we've talked about John Alcott quite a bit on this show because we
Yeah.
keep bringing up the prestigious movies he does.
Well, did we talk about him on The Beastmaster? Because he also shot The
Right, we did that
Beastmaster.
too. I'm sure we did.
Yeah, and Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the... His last movie was Kevin Costner's No Way Out. I think that was 1987.
With Sean Young?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was his last movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, so it looks good. It's a
Yeah, it looks good.
or it looks skeezy, but I suppose that's what they were
Which
trying
is
to go.
good for. I mean,
I was
you
like,
know.
it looks appropriate.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
there you
appropriate.
go.
Yeah.
So who are these people, and what is going on? How does all the plot threads come together? Well, I guess maybe that's the thing. Like when I'm saying Terminator, and it's this guy chasing this girl, that may give you a false sense of the pace of this movie, right? Because it takes a good maybe half of the movie seems to be setting everybody up
Yeah.
and then bringing them to a flashpoint, and then the second half of the movie is okay, this guy is going to find her,
Chase.
and we got to
Yeah.
find him or her.
Yeah, they lay a lot of groundwork first.
Yeah.
They do. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing is
It's
good.
not boring.
No, not at all. What they're
Yeah.
doing is good because we're establishing relationships, who people are. We get a little bit of the other members of
It's
the Vice
a lot
Squad.
of establishing the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Of,
Yes.
Of what
Truly, the
yeah.
opening montage,
The streets
yeah,
and-
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, yeah.
What, do we say that he sings the title track? Or say-
Neon
Sings.
slime.
Oh God.
Sings.
Sings is being generous.
Wings Hauser screams,
Scream.
yells.
Shrieks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I related to.
neon slime.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is Drinkenstein. It is Sly Stallone trying to sing.
And they reprise it at the end. So
They
if
did,
you
they
love
did,
it
as you
once, you
should.
can love it again.
How did that? come about? Like, was he just did he just volunteer
right?
to?
You said
he
Probably
did
is a
music.
man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was like,
Okay.
what was he like? I could sing a song for this. Like,
Yeah, that's why I'm
we
like,
can-
were you cast as the actor, and you're like,
Yeah.
I could actually sing the theme song, you know?
Right.
Like,
I feel like, that was kind of the inclusive
Yeah.
talk for this movie. It's just like, we can get you something good. Like,
but how often does that happen nowadays? Like, I mean, I guess like Lady Gaga being in like the
Patrick
Joker
Wilson.
movie, but
Or-
and Ghost
Yeah.
did the song for Insidious 5 or whatever.
really?
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. I was going
That
to
is
say,
cool.
'cause I was going to go like McKenna Grace did a song for Ghostbusters.
Oh,
like
did
we
she?
still, she did.
Yeah,
We still do this stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah. I feel like we just don't see the. Like, not a pop star or not like,
Right.
where's our 45-year-old man singing that's also the lead of the movie
Right.
singing
Well, all
the
right,
theme
but
song,
does the public want that?
It worked for Gran
Yes.
Torino.
Oh, yeah, Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
Yeah.
He
Clint
was-
Eastwood.
He was like 80
Wasn't that
years
like a
old singing
spoken
that
word song?
No,
Was-
he's
was-
singing.
He
Was
sings,
singing?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Gran Torino. That's like the most comparative example I can
Wow.
think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Do you not remember that? It's Clint Eastwood.
It's been no, I don't.
Gran Torino.
But that's what I thought. It felt like more like a spoken, like rather than him singing.
He's trying to sing.
Been a while.
So,
He's Clint Eastwood. He's like, I can do whatever. I
And
want.
that was
Yeah,
like
if you're
20
writing
years
director,
ago.
Two
Yeah.
threesomes in this movie if I want
Yes,
to. It doesn't
and
matter
I
if I'm
will.
85 years old. I'll do it.
so setting up these characters that are eventually going to collide. What
yeah.
in this world, like,
We got the
who
streets,
are they? Yep.
which are the sex workers, the whores as they're called within the movie. We have them. We have the Vice Squad, headed by Gary, and then we've got Wings Hauser, who is he a
He's a
pimp?
pimp.
Yeah.
He's a pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he said that Ginger shorted him.
Okay, that's
So,
what I said. And he
yeah.
did want Princess to be like, you work for me?
Yeah.
Turn around and-
Yeah,
She's
he's
like,
an
he does
outlaw.
threaten her. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pimp.
So Princess Season Hubley is presented as like
Like straightforward at the beginning of the movie. We see her at her home life. I don't want to
Yeah.
say normal, but her home life.
and she's got a little an adorable little kid.
Yep.
Who she packs up to grandma's house in a very tearful and dramatic
Yeah.
moment that we're not
Like,
entirely
yeah.
sure.
Was there something happening? She's just like, I got to work this weekend, so you need to go away to grandma's.
Yeah,
it
it would
felt
make
like
sense.
I think that's what it was.
it was,
I
but
have
it
to
felt
work.
like
Yeah.
it felt like the kid was going away for a lot longer.
Yeah, like
based on the
Julianne Moore
crime.
in Boogie Nights,
Yeah.
right? Like you're losing
Right.
the kid
Yes.
because of the
Yes.
work that you do. You know, it's like we're taking this
Indeed.
kid out of
Yes.
here. That's what it felt
Right,
like.
Calling your kid at 3:00 in the morning, which she does in
Yeah.
Boogie Nights as well.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's that thing. You get the drugs in your system, and you
Well,
feel all nostalgic for your kids, and you
based
call
on-
them at 3 a.m. I
Based on
have
the-
never done it, but I understand it. But yes,
Based on the dialogue that we get in a couple scenes, I've gathered that she's sending her daughter out there to be with grandma, and she's eventually going to follow her, and they're going to live out there.
you think so?
Yeah, because there was several. She said she was sending her to San Francisco, right?
Right.
And then there's a scene later on when she's finished with a John, and he says, "Well, when you get out to San Francisco,
Right.
let me know where you are."
Yeah.
Okay, so she's
So
moving.
like they're implying that she's making money to like leave the town and,
Okay.
and go
Okay.
start a new life.
Okay, I'm glad you
Yeah.
caught that. I
Yeah.
feel like it could have been hit harder for me, but that's it.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
glad you
very
caught
subtle. It's very subtle.
Okay.
But there is like a lot of that kind of, like character work being laid in for like
Yeah.
even the minor characters
Yeah.
in this movie. It's like everybody seems to have a distinct, personality. Like all the characters in this movie, and there's a lot of them.
This is
You know?
quite a few.
I mean, it's just here and there, but like sometimes that's really all that you need, right? To kind of like this person has a life outside of this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
okay.
eventually these characters they're separate from most of them, and then they meet up and they kind of hang out at the bar, share stories, talk about what's going on and everything. Nice little moments.
For being as like over the top as it all is, it feels natural,
Mhm.
Yes.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I feel like they're actually like friends going out
Right.
between Johns at 3 a.m.
Right, and you, I like that. I
Yeah.
like their camaraderie
Yeah.
in all of this stuff. It's
Yeah, but
it's
that's
nice.
what it seems that's like the research like takes you there, right? It's like they
Right.
hung out with people who lived on the streets and worked on the streets,
Right.
and then
It's like,
kinda-
they realize they are humans.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
they're telling these stories.
Well, it's like Sean said we were watching, and it's really this simple as they are just coworkers on a break talking in the break room.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
like,
it.
we've all that's a
Right.
very human
And-
experience we've
right.
all
Yeah.
had.
And it's very nice that it's relatable. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like you won't believe the customer that came in today.
Yes,
And what he
they
did.
were insane.
And right, and that is the basic thing. You can relate. Everyone can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
So who is
Customer service is always the same.
Customer
Yeah.
service fucking it sucks.
It's shitty everywhere you go, man.
No matter where you go, yeah.
So if she's out earning a living, then who's Ramrod and what's he up to?
Oh, Ramrod,
Oh, Ramrod.
He's a vengeful pimp,
vengeful pimp,
but also anyone who gets in his
psycho.
way is at risk of getting brutally murdered.
just a psycho.
Yeah,
So-
he's a brutal psychopath.
Yeah, he wears Western shirts, which I found confusing because I was like, you're so scary. I'm not even noticing the loud shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I get that that's his probably his attempt to look normal, right? But it's such a crazy shirt.
I mean,
but-
it's his style because he's wearing a cowboy hat at the beginning too,
Yeah.
and he's wearing cowboy boots. He listens to like country western music.
Right.
Like
I
that's
think
his
the
that's
shirts
his vibe.
are to be noticed.
Yeah.
Like this
You
man
think
wants
so?
to be
Yeah.
noticed. And
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, other pimps they do the same thing, just with a
Right.
different
Sure.
garb, you know,
Right.
with the fancy hats and whatnot.
Yeah, he has fancy hats.
He's a cowboy
Yeah,
pimp.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
He's a
saying.
cowboy.
Like,
He's introduced in a
Like
cowboy hat. He's on the cover in a cowboy
he's
hat.
as colorful as they are. He's just a
Yes.
different genre.
So
Yeah, the genre is white.
He's so terrifying and menacing.
Really
that the
is.
shirt does not soften it in the way you
No.
think it would.
No,
It just
and
adds to the
maybe he's
lunacy.
doing that to lure them into a false sense of security. Maybe
Yes.
that's the point.
I think so. Well, I guess that's the thing. I always heard that this movie has like one of the screen's most menacing, most terrifying villains.
Yeah.
So what is it about this character that makes him so terrifying? I mean, for the people who haven't seen it, we're describing it to. It's like what makes him scary.
the flip.
He's
He
sadistic.
likes it.
Yeah, he's sadistic and it's insatiable. It's never enough. He's
Yeah.
always like trying to get the next high and just willing to do it at all costs.
Is he scary? Were you convinced on his? Because we know he's a psycho,
Mm-hmm.
and we've seen plenty of proof of that. Was there enough on the flip side where he is charismatic and to convince
He
people?
doesn't even try to be charismatic. He just forces. It's just force.
Yeah.
Brute
Right.
force and violence is how he does
right,
it.
and that's what I was looking for. I'm
Yeah.
like, is there a flip side where everyone
Like
around
more of a
him?
Patrick Bateman kind of thing, where
Right.
you play the game right with the social niceties, but he doesn't even do that.
No.
Right. Well, I think he can approach you. And, the initial impression might be that he's okay,
But it goes,
it goes
very
so
quickly,
fast.
Yeah.
very quick.
When he
Yeah,
approached
is
Princess,
just,
he grabbed her by the back of the neck, like
Yeah.
first thing.
You get
like,
about
he's
10
really
seconds of
aggressive.
Yeah,
like, this guy could be, and then he's got his fingers in your
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah,
And,
literally.
Then we have a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
He
That's
doesn't.
the-
he doesn't keep the lid
That
on
is
very
the part
long.
that made me go, Jesus Christ, in the middle of this movie is when he starts shoving his fingers into her mouth. I'm like, God damn.
It's that he goes from, and maybe you're saying the flip. It's like there's an initial charming thing, and then it escalates
so quick.
to like 10.
It's so quick.
like at the drop of a
Yeah.
hat. And he is just relentless and quick-witted, I guess, and physical
Yeah.
enough to just like, jackrabbit his way out of like every
Right.
single
People-
close
people-
situation. You're like,
right.
oh my God, this fucking guy, what the hell?
People deal with him because he is quick to violence and quick to threaten and quick to all that. Because I was wondering if it's like, is there a charm that lets people into him and work with him, or is it just a quick turn to violence and you
He
don't want to
doesn't
fuck
seem
with
to
him?
have friends like all
No,
the people
that's what I'm
that
saying.
he
It's a
goes
quick turn to violence
Yeah.
and shit. That is
You know,
what makes
yeah.
people work with him and afraid of him.
Yeah. So
No
he's
charm.
the guy you don't fuck with
Yeah,
on the
off the
streets,
bat.
right? He's just known that you don't.
But for the record, he's got the coolest Bronco.
That's a cool, I want this Bronco.
It's
yeah,
black,
just imagine
yeah.
it's nice outside and you
cool.
flip the back off that thing and you got
Yes,
your friends in the back.
So
Oh,
cool.
it's a nice
It's
Bronco.
like black, but it's got like the 70s stripes.
It's
Yeah, like a
those-
sunset
yeah.
stripes.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh, I love
And
it.
it's like it's lifted. It's got big rims.
Yeah.
It's got the full
Yeah.
kit
It's a
on
nice
it. It's
truck.
like he likes flashy things, and I like that personality. I like that they give him that personality trait.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
I love the colors of those stripes.
Yeah.
And that's a nice
I
Bronco.
want to see
It makes me easier to track.
my ultimate movie.
Well, his like spare tire cover literally says Ramrod.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
not
Yeah,
hiding
he's not
it.
hiding.
He's not
Yeah.
hiding.
Which okay, I thought there were some inconsistencies later in the movie with who knew who Ramrod was and who
Right,
didn't.
yeah.
So
Everyone
we'll get to
should
that. But Coco doesn't.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
Coco,
I know,
She
I thought
falls
she
for
would've
it. That's why I was
known.
like,
Yeah.
how did she not know?
Yeah.
They talked about him.
Right, they're all friends.
They talked about him on their break.
Right, he seems like he should be a
Yeah.
known entity to all.
she gets in
like,
his car.
If you say Ramrod, you're like, oh.
But she
Unless
gets in his
she's never
car.
met him
Right.
or something, she hasn't.
But at the back of his car says Ramrod.
He wasn't in his car.
Yeah, he was in
Gotcha. Oh,
somebody
yeah.
else's
That was
car.
when
So
he
he
got
does
like
switch a lot of
that was like
cars.
3 cars from the original, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bronco, a blue
Yeah.
car, and then a fucking paper truck.
Right. I want to see though. My dream movie is Wings Hauser as Ramrod in this movie
It's their dream movie,
versus
ladies and gentlemen.
what's his name in Manhunter.
Oh,
They
the
feel
Tooth
like
Fairy?
the Tooth Fairy. They feel like they're also happening in the same universe in the same
probably.
time too. Tooth Fairy couldn't run as fast,
Right,
But,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But
He's
they're the
not
same
as spry.
weird freaks hiring
Yeah.
prostitutes.
Yep.
So there's an incident, I guess, that kicks everything off, right? And that involves Ginger, the
Ginger.
prostitute, who has left Ramrod, which, you know, we're going to find out you don't do in this life.
You talked about the connection to Terminator. Ginger is also the
Oh, yeah,
first one who
Ginger.
died.
Yeah.
Ginger dies
Yeah.
in Terminator.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Ginger, the friend,
Yeah.
who is the friend of the main character.
Yeah.
He's got a, so
Hmm.
yeah.
Curious.
Yep.
Ramrod tracks her down to a hotel room after he has already beaten her, apparently, and then menaces her with a pimp stick. Now, I had no idea what the hell this was before
All right,
this movie.
I'm gonna Google pimp stick
Don't.
and see if this
Ruin your
and
search
ruin
history
my
forever.
search history. I'm gonna do
Do
it
not
anyway.
pimp-
Safe search at least. Or
Yeah,
All right,
do
well,
not
it-
Google
all right,
that.
all right.
Duck, go
All
that
right.
shit.
It's always unsafe. I'm just gonna tell you that.
Well, the definition of it describes it as, I think, something that pimps use to beat prostitutes.
Yeah,
with.
that might be just like the basic.
But in this movie,
Okay, so what happened in this movie? Because I had an impression. They never. It wasn't explicit, but it killed her. I'm like, did he kill her by beating her, or was there something else going on there?
I think he just beat her to death.
Oh,
because
okay.
He likes hand weapons. He gets
Yeah.
the switchblade. He takes coat hangers and bends them into like
Yeah.
a
And a pimp stick.
baton.
That was the pimp stick.
That was
Yeah.
his pimp stick.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying,
it's
but
just like.
That's like he likes the blunt weapons and the
Yeah,
sharp
I
weapons.
didn't think. I
Not
don't know
really
what
a
it
gun
was.
guy.
Maybe it's the one movie with the hangers, but I didn't think the hanger was going to be for beating.
Yeah,
that
I
would
didn't
hurt
either.
thought
so
we were
fucking
gonna-
bad though.
I thought we were
Yeah.
going to get
That's
more
what-
violent.
I was like,
Yeah.
please don't
I
go
was like,
there.
this could be
I was
an
like,
abort.
don't, please
there.
don't do it. Yeah,
See,
but
I still think that's what happened because she died.
was that Mommy Dearest? No more wire hangers.
No more wire
Okay,
hangers because she died because of his line right before he used it.
I think he was
About,
gonna fuck up her moneymaker or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
and because of Season Hubley's
Right.
reaction to it when he pulled it out with her
Right.
later
Yeah.
on. I'm like, that's actually what's going on. But I guess the movie does kind of leave that open to interpretation.
Yeah.
But he's a horrible fucking human being.
No good answer here. So yeah.
right.
It's an uncomfortable scene, and Ginger dies. This brings in the Vice Squad, and so then the captain, so the sergeant.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ginger dies with no help from anybody. Like just
Yeah.
Yep,
like
she's dead.
no one gave a shit when Ginger
Oh, she's in the hospital, and it's like,
She's like, I don't want to die.
Yeah, she
and,
flatlines and they all just stand there and,
and they're
watch.
just like, well, I guess she's dead. This is like no one's trying to revive her. No,
it's like she was just talking.
Right.
Like you might still have a chance.
Yeah, like give her a shot,
Are you
man.
kidding me?
Ooh. But
But
you
no.
know, but yeah,
She's a sex worker, so bye.
I think it was
Yeah.
an oversight on the because his reaction. It's like they do care about her, but yeah, it's like it seems like the writer should have. And then they jump into
and he
They
should
just
have
stand
used the
there.
paddles
Yeah,
or something.
he gets out of the way as
Right.
they try
They
to
go
work her.
and
Yeah.
it's like, nah,
Yeah.
she's dead. But no, we were all very calm about her dying.
she's dead. All right, we're gonna call
Yeah.
it. So, because it's personal for the sergeant whose name is escaping me. I know the actor is Gary Swanson, but the character
Oh,
just Sergeant.
yeah.
They call
Well,
him Sergeant.
she keeps calling him by his
Yeah.
is it Wilkes or
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll get
it
it.
starts with
Walsh.
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 It's Walsh.
Walsh.
All right,
Yeah.
Sergeant Walsh. There you go.
Yep.
So it's
Tom
personal for him.
Walsh. It's Walsh. Yeah.
He's like, that motherfucker must pay, and I'm going to bring him down. And how am I going to bring him down? I am going to get Princess, who I have busted before on a drug charge, to entrap Ramrod. So they wire her up and send her into a bar to meet Ramrod. Apparently, he has never met her before.
Apparently.
And he takes her back to his place and admits that, he's going to pimp her out, which gives the cops the moment to come in.
Clue,
and so it's a big dramatic moment. The cops bust in.
Yeah,
so,
but everybody fucks everything up.
Well, how?
At this point. They bust him, but they also they blow her cover. It's like known to Wings
Didn't she
Hauser.
blow her own
She
cover?
blew her own
All right,
cover.
she blew her cover. The cover is blown, which nobody, they shouldn't have let her.
Right.
First of all, they come in and they treat her like she was wired and she was part of this.
They don't really. They don't
No.
really. They just. They,
lady, put your clothes on.
Lady, put your clothes on. Like they don't really.
Or they treat
do
her as a
anything.
victim. There's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they
And-
don't really treat her that way.
If you watch Walsh, whenever because there was a scene where Walsh, in order to convince her to do this, brings her to the morgue.
Yeah.
And basically is shoving her head down
There's your friend.
in Ginger's dead body, the face of Ginger. And this is your friend. And this guy, don't you want this guy? And then you're like, this whole movie is about people manipulating other people into doing
Yeah.
what they want. Is
Yes.
it justified if it brings down this, so she hates Ramrod because he killed Ginger. So I
not a
think
fan of the
she
cops either, but yeah.
exposes her own part in the stakeout, because if you watch Walsh, he's kind of his reaction was
Yeah.
oh shit, you probably shouldn't be,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I got you on tape, motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is for
Yeah.
Ginger. And he's like, I'm going to kill you.
Right. But they really should have got her out of there real quick. But
Yeah, because he's
whatever.
he grab, they got him at gunpoint. He grabs her.
Right. Clear the area. Cops should have.
Yeah. One of them should have let her out of the room.
They should have done better. Everyone's at fault here.
The cops dropped the ball multiple times in
Yes.
this movie. They're really not good at their job.
Because they're. Well, we'll get to it. I feel because when we're. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they arrest him. Wait, do they? Wait, because
They arrest him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he grabs her. Wait, he throws it. He I'm sorry. He hits her with a chair a couple times.
Yes.
And then throws it at the cops. That guy's
Throws
just
it
a
at the
fucking
bar.
maniac.
He's a
Yeah.
maniac. Absolutely insane. Loves Elvis. as we
Loves
established.
Elvis.
We tried to figure that out for a while, and then it was made very clear by
Yeah.
the other half of the wall.
Yeah.
But loves Elvis. But and then they do kind of get him.
They all pile on him.
They
She's
pile
in
on
there
him, right.
punching
She's
him.
in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's in there.
He handcuffed himself to her.
Oh,
He
is that
did.
what-
Yeah. He's just like, I'm gonna leave with. Yeah, all right. But
Yeah.
then they end up all right. So they get him, and he's arrested. They're gonna transfer him back to police squad. And so the two least responsible cops, it seems like, are responsible for transporting him to there.
And they're in an undercover car, so it's a normal car, basically.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, because there's no screen
Yeah.
or anything, which there should be and shit.
Yes, this is the problem. Because
They should have goofy music over whatever they're doing, because they're
Yeah.
those cops.
Yes.
Yep.
But they get kicked in
and
the face.
they're gloating, which is
And they're
that's a-
gloating,
that's-
which
you
you
can't
never
do
do.
that
Not with him
there.
right there. But he
Yep.
kicks one in the face. He wraps his legs around the other guy who's driving the car, and eventually causes a crash and gets out of it.
I love that it's so these bursts of violence are so sudden.
Yeah.
Sudden,
Whenever he
chaotic,
does anything, it's just oh Jesus, what the fuck? And it's
constant aware of I'm constantly looking for an opportunity to fuck with shit to get out of whatever situation he's in. So
Yeah.
chaos is
Yeah.
what this man brings.
Have you ever been driving and had like a spider drop down or a bee fly in the car, and you're panicking? You can't lose it too much because you're driving.
Right, I am driving.
That's what it feels like watching this movie sometimes. Is you're just it's out of nowhere and so in my face, and
Like
oh
a
my
spider
god.
comes down with Wings Hauser's head on.
Because when you're driving, you can't just freak out. You got to
Yeah.
maintain some control. Otherwise, this movie happens.
Truly.
But this is where
But he gets flung out of
The insanity.
flung out of the window.
he gets
as they
flung
crash.
from the back seat through the windshield
Yes.
that got knocked out and just
And then runs
perfectly
away.
tumbles onto the ground and then gets up, handcuffed, hands behind your back. It's really hard to get up from that position sometimes.
Yeah.
Just takes off running and runs to the auto shop. Is it Roscoe? Is that the guy who runs
He
it?
does end up going
Yeah.
to
I think so,
Roscoe
to
cut
at
him
some
out
point to
of
get a new
his,
car.
Yep.
yeah.
He goes into Fast Eddie's
Yes.
because it's always Fast Eddie
Mm-hmm.
to get guns.
Mhm.
So he gets car, guns,
And he says
and
he
then
wants something
information.
automatic. Did he?
He didn't.
He didn't get it, right?
No, he just
Yeah.
got a gun with a clip.
Yeah.
Wasn't the but I mean, wasn't because the other one was a revolver.
Yeah, he got
That
a
one was,
6-shooter.
yeah, so I think that was an automatic. The
That's
silver plated
still
one.
not an automatic, technically.
Yeah, you can.
You can do with the other one.
Well, okay.
And
So-
all right. You know what I'm talking about. An automatic means something else with a gun.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At least a 3-burst shot.
So, and I guess this is kind of like establishing, things that are going to happen. The rest of the movie kind of unfolds in little vignettes like that, right? It's like, where do you go to get your car? It's like, who are these, characters that you're going to meet? While Season Hubley is off, like also meeting. Well, Walsh takes her out
For a hot
briefly,
dog.
and they're both comparing life on the streets
Right.
from their individual perspectives.
Which is nice. I like this moment between the two. It's good character development. It makes me, like each of them more.
Yeah, but he knows that he's like, "What? You're still going? You're working tonight?" And she's like, "Yeah, I still gotta, make money." So he's watching her go get in somebody else's car and take off.
I love a we're not so different, you and I moment between
It really
characters. It's always so heartwarming.
It truly is. Just like, we're the same. You're just coming at it from different perspectives and all that.
And I love that he's like, man, if that had happened to me, I would have taken the rest of the day off. And she's like, I can't. Like, I got shit I got to pay for. On to the next one.
Immediately back to work.
But she has the craziest night anyone's ever had. Like, she got chased by a serial killer all night. Yeah.
My one night on Hollywood Boulevard, and it would sell many copies because this is a hell of a night. And we'll get to it. Because there's a wedding
Oh my God.
/ funeral. We'll get to.
Well, you were
Bizarre.
saying this movie keeps topping itself.
It really
Yeah,
does.
It did.
It really does, and I think that's because of Wings Hauser, because he keeps getting into more threatening, more over the top, meeting more people. Just like we're going up the chain of this whole thing, and it just keeps getting
'Cause he's
crazier.
basically trying to
Someone's
track,
balls
like-
get cut off. at a
Yeah,
certain
Yep.
point.
yeah. He's like,
So-
where is she? So he's got wheels. He's got a gun. Now he's gonna find her. So that tracks
So
back
now we
to
gotta
like
start
her.
knocking off informants and
Yeah,
stuff.
going to
Former pimp.
bars and
Yeah.
like who was her
Right,
first
because Wings
pimp?
Hauser and the cop are on similar paths. They're trying to find the informants, getting information to figure out where everyone is at this point.
But the cops are always, of course, like 1 or 2 stops behind.
Always, always.
Yeah, he does end up like her first pimp.
Yeah.
Attacks him in his home and apparently cuts his balls off.
Now, okay, they kept saying he was a sugar pimp. Is that their way of saying he's gay?
I don't know what sugar pimp means.
That's why I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, because like when they showed his apartment, it was very feminine.
Yeah.
And he was like lounging on the couch eating like fruit off his
Yeah,
belly. or
I was
whatever.
wondering
So
the
like,
same
is
thing,
this
like,
a sugar pimp gay?
Right. But also, was the other guy who they end up in the bar who we saw when Princess first walks in the bar, Wings Hauser is kind of just hanging out talking with another guy.
Oh yeah, the other pimp with the feather in
I
his head.
thought somebody else called him a sugar pimp as well. I could be
I don't
wrong.
know.
Oh, he was saying she's with her sugar. Wait, no, who said about her sugar pimp?
Yeah, I wonder who said sugar pimp. And
Maybe it was
Yeah.
the guy Fast Eddie.
Shall I also? I'm just gonna fuck up my algorithm.
Yeah, but
tonight.
I
Google
like
sugar pimp.
I did like the fact. See, this is one of the terms that was not covered on the lexicon that we got when the cars were sitting. The cops were sitting in the car. at the beginning.
Right. They
They're
are
like,
going
so-
over it, which is nice.
I
Because
did like that info dump, yeah.
Right, we get a new cop with the old cop. And,
Yeah.
and they're going over terms. That's
What's
great.
half and half? What's around the world?
This is good.
The golden shower. Yeah.
Do you need to know what they are? Don't you just need to know it's a sex thing, right? For
Well,
your
if-
purposes,
right,
for
but-
their
but
arresting
if they're going
purposes.
undercover,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, they need
Yeah.
to
they
know
have
what
to
to
know
ask
because
for.
if they say it, that is part of like
Yeah.
getting them and
Right,
and
but-
cornering them. So they have to know like otherwise they can just play it off as like I'm saying something else. Like no, we know what you were saying.
So what her night then, I guess give us a description of like the overview of her night after. So she doesn't know. I guess that's the thing. Here we go.
Sugar pimp. A pimp who is relatively generous and good-natured toward the prostitutes he manages.
Okay,
Oh,
so
so he's a
okay,
nice
Gotcha.
nice
okay.
pimp.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, his
that.
apartment was nice. He seemed nice.
He
so,
did.
yeah.
He
did
seemed
seem
nice. Like he
nice.
wasn't going to smack anybody around.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right. I like that.
Oh man, do you think those kind of pimps like because this movie we have freelance ones which are called outlaws, and then
Right,
you have
yeah.
like your pimps. But do you think there's like a waiting list to get in with him because he treats everyone
Probably.
good?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like right. You want to work your way up
Yeah.
to that. Yes.
You gotta get like a
definitely
reference and have an interview,
Right.
and make sure you're a good culture fit.
It's
Yeah,
the cushy job.
yeah, it's the cushy
Right.
job. Yeah, you gotta work your way up to getting a
Yep,
pimp like
definitely.
that. Yeah. Wow. I never
honey,
thought
I
about
got-
the intricacies
honey, I
of this
got the
economy.
incentive. I'm doing well.
I mean, if that's where you're going to drop off his cut or whatever,
Yeah.
it's a nice apartment.
Right? Plus, it means just like safety. You don't got to worry about shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like.
He's just like, "Do you have a good night? You want some grapes?"
Yep.
Like,
As
he's
long
just
as he can
nice.
protect
came
you
up
from
strong.
the
What
other
we gonna do
one.
about
Yes.
It's like, I'm gonna try it next week. You better, but I trust you. Go. Like that is the relationship you will have with them.
Yeah.
So what? What does she get herself into? I guess the cops. She doesn't know that Ramrod is on the loose.
For a while, yeah.
Lieutenant Walsh does, and is like, we gotta find one of them, or there's a dead girl on the street. And
It's a Sergeant Colin.
Sergeant Walsh. So what? I mean, I know she's meeting Johns, but what's the general?
So yeah, the Johns are interesting. As she says, nobody just wants to have straight sex anymore.
Right.
Everyone's
This is the
a
meeting.
freak.
This
It's
is
all
the
their
break room
fetish
meeting.
stuff.
Everyone's
Yeah.
a freak.
Yep.
So
Because talk about the guy who the very bashful man who wants to just suck toes.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
the first one we meet is this little shriveled guy who's very shy,
Yeah.
and he's already offering to pay her extra, and she's like, "Oh, what's the extra for?" And he was like, "I want to suck on your toes."
It's like, and she's like, okay, let me go clean my feet off. And he's like, oh
that
no,
that won't be necessary.
oh no, please don't.
Yeah.
I'd like them raw.
Yeah.
So gross.
And so, and
you
when
need to
this,
picture Dana Carvey and Master of Disguise saying this.
Yeah,
That's what this
basically.
guy
Yeah.
looks
Yes,
like.
this-
Seriously.
yeah, and so we're as an audience, we're begging that we don't cut back
Do
to
not cut back
anyone
to-
sucking on toes. Please, God, don't. I don't want to see it. And this movie, it might have happened.
Yeah, you never know, but they
So,
didn't.
They didn't show
They,
it.
they
Thank God.
when they cut back, we're with our second John, which is an
Missing a leg and in a
amputee.
wheelchair. Yeah, an
Yeah.
amputee. Which we're like, oh,
I'm like, okay, well.
He seemed
Everyone needs
fine.
something.
But he was the one that was just like, hey, when you get to San Francisco, let me
look me
know.
up.
Yeah.
I'd come to see you. Like,
Yeah.
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 Who was her third then? The
I think it's the
convention
wedding.
guy?
convention guy.
Which one's this guy?
That
Convention
just that
guy. The one that was like
gross
really
sweaty
Oh,
man.
right, yeah,
that was
the
really
fucking-
mean.
It
Yeah,
was really mean.
He's got the name tag that says
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really gross.
The convention.
And he tried to rob her. He was disgusting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he interrupts the whole break room meeting, and he's like, "I'll take you." And
Yeah.
that whole.
Yeah.
And they're trying to show the I guess the limits, the extremes of this
The
profession.
extremes, yes,
It's
definitely the extremes.
yeah.
Because he eventually takes her up to the room and then tries to steal her money. Goes through her purse, takes all that. I think he does steal her
an
money.
unsatisfied customer.
I guess she didn't move around.
And then she is, I think, from there, right? Because she even has it does kind of like Angel give you the relationships that all these folks have with I don't know, I guess their support staff,
Yeah.
right? The woman
like
who
the
runs
hotel,
at the
front-
hotel,
yeah.
Crookshank.
Crookshank, yes,
and
Indeed.
she's playing mahjong or something,
Right,
with
with
this
the-
Asian
with the fucking
gentleman
ninja, yeah.
who turns out to be he's like an old
Loved
guy.
it. Loved it.
That's like, where does this come out of? Like all of a
He's-
sudden,
this is Stick. He's just
Yeah,
fighting fuckers.
the cops come in and he's just
Yeah,
pulling some mad kung
I
fu
love
on
that.
him.
He was like, "That's my friend," and just kicked their
yeah,
ass.
yeah. Oh no, I like. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah,
So-
but after the mean John is when she called on and she was like, "Can I get some new sheets?"
Right.
Yeah, and then after that, we get her
And she comes
final
down.
John.
Well, yeah, she comes
Yeah.
down. There's a limousine that has been called for her.
Right, because Crookshanks is like, "There's someone else asking for you tonight. He's waiting in the parking lot."
Oh, right. Yeah. Which is
And at this point,
menacing enough.
we thought it might be Wings Hauser.
Right. 'cause
Yeah.
Just
he's on
gonna
the
stab her in the
loose.
parking lot.
It
Yeah.
plays it that way because a hand
Yeah.
comes out of the shadow and
Yeah.
grabs. Yeah,
Right.
But it's
But
It's,
it's a chauffeur.
yeah.
the
That's
chauffeur.
right. Hold on,
The
This
man
guy
from from
is being
Ghostbusters.
inducted into the Saturday Night
Wow.
Freak Show Wall
What
of
is
Fame.
the what is
Way.
the third? Wait. What are the other? What? Okay,
His name is Michael Ensign.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
he was the chauffeur here. He was the hotel manager in Ghostbusters.
Did we do Ghostbusters?
Yeah, long.
first one?
Oh yeah,
Long time ago?
long time ago.
Okay, I was not here for that one.
And or maybe we didn't. Did we do Ghostbusters?
We did two. I know we did
He's
two.
not in that.
We did in the first
Is
one.
that-
Unless MF Mad says we did, then
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
MF
But-
Mad says we did it.
All right,
I
I'll
can't
go
even
with it.
remember this. It's so long. Well, it's
So
10
long
years
ago.
or so. He was in House. He was the realtor in House with
Okay.
William Pratt.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna check your work on Ghostbusters because I'm pretty sure we didn't do it, but I know we did.
Sean's like, it's still out there. We could do Ghostbusters.
we can
Maybe you're right.
do Ghostbusters, folks.
We got one other inductee to the Saturday Night Freak Show Wall of Fame, and that's
Okay.
Barbara Pillivan.
Oh,
She was a derelict. I think probably the one who was like, don't get
The
in
one
the
living in
car
the
with
back.
him.
Yeah.
The methed out gypsy.
oh, yeah. We
You
do. We get a
may-
fortune teller in this movie.
She was also apparently, I think she was the house mother in 10 to Midnight.
Oh wow, really?
Oh,
And
all right.
she probably, when I say this, she was the old woman on the bus, the demon in Constantine.
Oh, I don't remember that
She
movie.
turns around.
She
and her
plays
face
that.
goes,
She plays that role very well.
Yeah.
considering
Yeah.
This movie. So, all right. Well, welcome.
Welcome to
we
the
love,
wall.
We love it.
So what happens at this? So the chauffeur takes her where?
To a house in the suburbs.
It feels like
Ish.
it's a long ride, right?
Feels like it's a long
Yeah.
ride. That's why we have a limousine and all that stuff. But he takes her to a house.
It's like a mansion. It's a big house.
It's a big house.
yeah.
It's very
Folks,
nice.
May 11th, 2013, Brent picked Ghostbusters.
There we did
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. Okay,
Wow.
2013.
Yeah.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
sorry, Emma Fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Wow.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. We have
Okay.
done Ghostbusters.
Shit.
So the mansion in the
But we're all of us here. We're two of us not here. This is what I wonder.
I think Colin was the
Do you
only
really
one here.
Ooh, there we go. I have to wait a year to do it, but
I was
there
gonna-
we go.
do you think in the year of 2025 there are things we can add to the Ghostbusters
Nope.
conversation? Exactly. Like,
Nope.
what are we? Gonna
All
say
I can
that
say is
hasn't
I
been
love it,
said?
and that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
go away.
I love
So,
Ghostbusters.
no.
I think that's
Yeah.
basically
That's
how
it.
that episode went.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so she goes to the. You're right. She goes to the mansion. She's led upstairs by the chauffeur into a room, and then the next time we see them, she comes out in well, I was gonna say a full wedding gown. It is not a full wedding gown. It is half a wedding gown, if that.
It's like wedding dress
And
lingerie.
a
Yeah.
1,000 candles.
It's wedding
Yes.
dress lingerie.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
wedding
With,
dress
the,
lingerie.
with a veil and
Bravo.
all that.
But the way
Yeah.
they build the suspense of her going into the room and pulling back the curtain, and you don't see what's behind the curtain, and then she's in there for what feels like a while, comes out, and like the suspense of this, we follow her long ass walk all the
Yep.
way to her
Uh-huh.
destination, and
Yep.
the whole time you're just like, what the fuck
There's
is on the other
lots
side
of
of this door?
candles. There's
Attention was paid to
very
this.
romantic.
Yeah. Well, this is
The wedding march is playing.
Yeah, well,
And-
that turns into a funeral march part of the way through. Why?
It's
Because
a funeral dirge.
Dirge, you're right.
yeah,
Not a march, it's a dirge. Yep. But she goes to the door and she ends up in what is essentially a funeral home with a man in a coffin, many candles around her, and she's in a wedding dress.
And he tells her, the chauffeur tells her, do
Don't-
not talk to
yes.
him.
Mhm. Don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Don't say no.
And so she approaches the corpse in the casket.
All right. And if a corpse in a casket were to jump up and scare you, you'd be audible, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I
correct.
would.
How would
Correct.
you not?
She doesn't know what's happening. It's
Right.
like all of a
Right.
sudden she's like, "What the fuck kind of crazy
Right.
shit is
And
this?"
this man's world has been shattered because he said, I don't want her to speak.
You ruined it.
Right, and
She
so he's
spoke.
crying, and,
Yeah.
and I don't know what is this kink?
I was going to ask you
have
someone to
someone-
clarify.
Grieve over your death and then fuck them?
I
Like, what is
I
I
wanted
need clarification on what was supposed to happen. here.
Exactly. I
Yes.
wanted to know where this was going
the
to go.
end game? I want to know
Yeah.
the end game of what he wanted out of
Yeah.
this.
Because that's it. That's all we get of that.
That's
Then
it.
she
He's-
leaves.
Yeah, he's very upset.
Yeah.
She leaves, and then the chauffeur's like, I'm also male.
He's like, I'm off tomorrow. Are
Right.
you working?
Weird scene.
So is it just the building of weird through her?
I think this is one of those
Yeah.
moments
like,
where
okay,
just
you
like,
take the cake. That's
like
the
if
weirdest
you, right?
one.
If you're a sex
Yeah.
worker, like you're gonna go through some weird shit, and they really wanted to like give her a really good weird one for this night. But as we're about, maybe a moment of levity before we get into the shit that's just like, ugh.
Yeah,
There's going to be a podcast of sex workers like anonymously submitting weird stories, right?
probably.
I would listen to
I wouldn't
the
even think
fuck out of
anonymously.
that.
I'm pretty sure nowadays they'd just be like openly like, this is what
Well,
I've had to experience. But
You
you're right.
can't
Yes.
blow up who your client is.
True.
You know?
But
Yeah.
I bet it's out there. I guarantee it's out there. Everyone talks about
yeah.
everyone nowadays.
Does like Cat House have a podcast or something?
Yeah, just don't use names or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But Ramrod gets wind of this.
They would use names like Ramrod.
Yeah. Ramrod finds out where she is because he roughs up the hotel manager and finds out this is where she was going. And so Ramrod, I think, just casually murders a paper boy and steals his truck.
Yeah, he like smacks him over the head and then dumps him over
It's like a
railing into the subway stairway. Yeah.
I was hoping he was picking the newspaper delivery truck for a reason, was going to weaponize those papers or something.
No.
Because that's a very conspicuous truck to steal,
Very
you
true.
know?
Or he was like, what's the headlines? Like, he
yes,
was in
it
the
was going to
headline,
work
he'd
for
look it
something.
up. Yeah.
I thought it was going to lead to something.
Yeah.
But no, he just
wants the
wanted-
truck.
Just needed the truck. Had to
Kills
be a
that
paper
guy.
boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
He can be fine. We don't know. The little
He
girl,
was for sure
the little
dead.
girl from Impulse fell over a fucking stairs. Was all split out. She came back, right? Murdered William Shatner. So you never know. I just want an Impulse callback.
Yeah.
Everyone go watch that movie.
Impulse 1974. That's what we're talking about. So Ramrod ends up following her, even though all the cops have been sent the wrong direction. This is the
they're
closest they
constantly
get.
passing-
They pass each other on the
Constantly
street.
passing in them in the cars in which they're driving. So.
Yeah. And then he does find her at
And her
I think
friends.
she's making that phone call to
She is.
her
She's in the phone
daughter.
booth. She just bought the bunny rabbit.
Yeah, that's a pretty good scene because her friends show up and they're like, "Ramrod's on the loose," and like he's looking
Right,
for
and they
Princess. There's Princess. Oh my God, there's
And then, they sit across the
Ramrod.
street, and then he decides he's going to just drive his truck through shit
Yeah,
and try and kill them all. Yeah, it's chaos.
and he grabs her, pulls her into the car, and takes her. The cops are now aware of like they get they're following. So then it's like, I don't know, 10 minutes. It feels like 5 minutes. It's not a chase scene. They're just
No, but everyone's converging.
yeah.
Like
and I think
they
that's
know
what,
where he's going, and I
Right.
like
this is the Vice Squad.
Yeah,
Right.
You know?
right. This is the Vice Squad moment where they're talking to everybody. Everyone's kind of all the characters we've seen separately, tracking down leads throughout the movie. They're finally converging together because they
Yep.
know where everyone is,
Yeah.
and so they're converging because he's got an apartment in a high rise somewhere in the middle of L.A. where it's his sex dungeon.
Yeah. So what is this
Yeah.
place?
That's it.
That
is,
the,
yeah.
the chains to chain them up, and
Chains,
all-
whips,
yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff that he would want to enact his fetishes and fantasies and all that stuff.
And this is the threat, right? That like what I did to Ginger is nothing compared to what I'm going to do to
Right.
you. And like, because he knows that she, sold him out to the
Yeah.
cops or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, what in the holy hell is going to happen at this point, right? Like
Everything. Everything's going to happen at this point.
Well, so what happens? Like the
We're
cops
jumping
are
out-
there.
we're-
They're
we're
like,
the chase
okay,
scenes,
we
we're
got
jumping
him.
out windows.
We can't, but they showed up. They're like, we've been quiet. He doesn't know that we're here. He's getting ready to torture Princess. He's got her tied down on a bed. And so they're like, we got to go in. They go in, guns drawn, like, freeze, motherfucker, all this stuff.
Right. One dude who got kicked in the face with the bandages, he gets shot. He's down.
Because Wings Hauser's, he's got like crazy reflexes. Just,
This guy is, for better or worse, he's a survivor. He will just.
Nothing takes him down. Nothing
Nothing takes
slows
him
him
down.
down.
No.
He is physically and mentally 3 steps ahead of everyone
Yeah.
his entire movie, and never like his energy bar is just never drains. He's always
right,
up there.
Right. It's always maybe a third of the way down and never
then bounces back up,
Right.
yeah.
Never lower than that
Yeah.
until
He's like
the end.
super pimp.
I'm
Right.
actually surprised that there's not like any like drug use in this movie. Like
I thought
he's
he
not
was
all,
doing
like
cocaine.
He has to be coked
right?
out.
He
Yeah.
must be, but they never show it.
Right.
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 Like, and
This guy,
Princess.
yeah, he's
is
definitely
never,
on cocaine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Princess is, like basically aside from the fact that she's a prostitute, pure she doesn't do any drugs. There's one
Was
woman.
there nudity?
I don't.
There
think
was
so.
ass.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But
count.
that's
though.
well, no,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. There's
yeah,
just that.
there was no
Yeah.
nudity.
Wow, that's
Like-
crazy.
Right.
I was gonna say
Surprising.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say there was no nudity in Angel either, but there was. It just wasn't the main character.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
the main character you never see naked or like
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
sex or
Thank
anything.
God.
In this, the main character, we see ass and that's it. And then
Yeah.
everyone else is pretty clothed.
I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
For a movie, it's
Right?
like skeezy. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And maybe that's the trade-off to make a movie like this. You're like, okay,
that's respectable.
Yeah,
But like
that they pulled this off.
The funny thing is, though, is that normally that we would notice that right away. We didn't notice until right now.
that there was none.
Right.
Yeah.
because it feels like there was.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's so skeevy, or just like there was nudity all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like there was none.
My mind's blown by how disgusting I feel watching a movie that had no nudity in it.
Crazy, right?
Right.
Crazy.
But also, like, I don't want to feel disgusted by nudity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just like,
no, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that
I know.
so much is implied in this movie,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it is. This movie was like hard to watch at times, but yet that's where they draw the line.
Right, you figure with a movie that is sleazy, hard to watch, and everything, that they would put these exploitation elements in
Especially
there.
a story about sex workers.
And they,
exactly.
Right, exactly, and that they don't do it. So we're very surprised that it was not part of this movie.
It's a class act.
I don't know about
I'm gonna leave that one on you. I'm gonna leave that one on
wouldn't
you.
go
How
that
do
far.
you do that subject? I guess without.
It just wasn't the focus of this movie.
True.
The movie was,
but right. The violence was more the subject of this.
So then,
movie.
is it an exploitation movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
I'm almost offended that you asked that question.
Yeah.
Well,
for
I
this
mean, in a
movie.
way that, like, I guess because I know that Martin Scorsese supposedly, right? I don't know if this is true, said that he thought that was the best movie of 1982. And I'm like, okay, the director of Taxi Driver. So you look at Taxi Driver, you're like, is Taxi Driver like an exploitation movie?
Kind of.
It depends
The
what they're
Jodie
exploiting, but
Foster
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, because of her being so
Yeah.
young and everything.
Yeah.
You definitely. Oh yeah.
So how does Wings Hauser? Well, he
jumps out
jackrabbits
window.
himself out the
He's
window.
out the
Yes.
window. He's doing
and away he
parkour on
goes.
buildings and everything.
Apparently he's the Wolverine.
Yeah.
So now
He
they're
is
chasing him
unstoppable.
again. And then there's a car chase. And then it finally culminates down by a dock somewhere.
This whole thing and this whole thing. What were we thinking during this whole thing? Like, because we're chasing the ultimate bad guy.
Well, yeah, I was this whole we knew we were at the end. We knew this was like the end game.
Right.
And I was like, I just need him to have the ultimate death.
Yeah.
I need him to be just like hurt and killed mercilessly.
Right. We need to feel it.
Yeah.
This guy's demise because of what he has done for this entire
he's
movie.
such a fucking monster.
Right.
Like, we're gonna cheer for a brutal death for this guy.
Yes.
You
We
need
want
that.
it. We need it. This
we
movie
need that
should do
satisfactory
it.
moment.
Yeah.
You've made us watch him sadistically torture women for an hour and a half. We deserve the payoff for
He
watching
deserves it.
that.
We
Yes,
deserve
yeah.
it. Yes. This is what needs to happen. Came a little short.
Yeah. And maybe
Well,
that's
this is
like
no
a
10 to
complaint.
midnight.
Yeah, because I mean, you do get that. I mean, I guess what happens to he ends up in a position where the cop.
The only thing that could stop him was being pinned against the wall with
Yeah.
a car.
Right.
yeah, but not like crushed. Like his
No.
body's not crushed. Kind
Which
of thing.
would maybe have been better if they slowly just like
I would
Yeah.
if the cop had just slowly just kind of gone out of his mind a little bit. It's
Yeah.
just like nobody will
Like,
know
we
if I
just
slowly
we just
crush
see
him.
the rage look across his face.
This
and
is
he
like
just,
what we were talking about earlier. This is like the ER moment with Dr. Green where he lets the guy die. All right, that deep cut for all of you out there. But yeah, he should have like.
Well, yeah, he hits him a bunch of times. He goes, Ramrod goes flying over the car. He's on
Yeah.
top of the car at some point, like
He is.
and then finally gets flung off to a wall, and the cop hits him. But I think what you needed, how you would have done it, right? Cop hits him full force. Guy splayed out on the hood, and then like still gets up, and then goes for the gun. So you're
Right.
like, he's bleeding out all over the place. He's gonna die anyway, but he's got this one last thing in him, and so you have to shoot him. But what the movie is doing is basically justifying, the cop shooting him is like Ramrod is still going for his gun, even though he's pinned up against the wall, and so the cop can blast him in the face and he's dead. So the impression, it's like, it's not that Ramrod suffers. I think that's what you want. you wanted him to suffer for everything that he did.
I wanted suffering a little bit more.
He is fighting right to the very end, like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
And finally, like, the power goes out, and that's it. He's killed.
He is killed.
The end of the coda, right? The end of the movie. Then, because I think at least one police officer's dead, one's injured. Walsh is all busted up. This is a night's work on the Vice Squad.
What
right?
a night.
Right. The sun comes up at the end of the movie.
This is one night this has happened.
And he's reunited with Princess, who's in a stretcher, right? She's going to the hospital. And what does she say to him?
you can't change the streets. Is that what the ultimate?
Yeah, it seemed like it was kind of a like, what are you even doing this for? You
Yeah,
can't,
why? Yeah, why? He's
change
like,
the
you can't
streets,
change
and
all
it
this.
kind of
Yeah.
renders that whole,
I wanted him to have a little comeback to that. It's just like, it's just like you got to keep, or like you got to keep trying.
because I have to.
but
It's
I
not
have
like-
something, yeah.
But I liked that he didn't because it was like it didn't need to be said because you just already know that about that character.
Right. That's
Yeah,
true.
but the fact that he doesn't voice it kind of makes it seem that then he may complicitly agree with her. It's
Right.
like he does it, but it's like, is he really into it? If he
Right.
would have said something, it's like, this is my, my mission.
I did
I don't
that.
think he needed to.
I wanted it. Maybe he didn't need it. I don't know.
I don't think he needed
wanted
to.
just
And then he'd be
something.
Batman. It was like,
Because I think he didn't say anything because he's like, she's right. You're right,
Right.
but I'm still gonna do it.
Right.
It was like people are going to do this horrible, awful shit to each other like night after night after night. It's just
Right. And we, I understand we do get from his tenacity throughout the entire movie, he will continue
Yeah.
to do this. And so we get that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I just want a little bit.
it was disappointing because we wanted the grand death, but I mean that moment was more speaking to his character where he was still like. He still felt the weight of I just killed a man. You could see it in his face. Like he wasn't going to torture him or like
He
hurt
didn't
him.
get any satisfaction. out of it.
That wasn't what he was in it for. So that's not what he's about. He's still a
Right.
moral human being. So he's still going to be doing his job because that's what his job is.
That
And
works.
you're saying you like it because that grounds the movie more. I guess
Yeah.
it takes it away from like that.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is an actual movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that.
Vice Squad.
All right,
Vice
that's
Squad.
fine.
Vice Squad.
Well, I guess
Yeah,
now
what is it? Neon slime. Was the
Right, the-
theme
the
song?
rivers of neon
God,
slime.
it's such a terrible song.
It is.
Okay, so we're gonna go around the table and tell you what we thought of the movie Vice Squad. We hope you'll stick around. First of all, we're gonna read some of your mail. To do that, we're gonna have to summon our mailman Igor. Bring us the mail.
Masters, the mail. I've got the mail. So many letters. Our followers are rising.
Why, thank you, Igor.
Thank you, sir.
Sometimes he has neon slime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like street trash.
Depends on how radioactive he is that day.
Right. He has to.
But he is like a snail. He leaves
Yeah.
a trail.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's certain points where it builds up too much, and he has to disperse it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to get rid of it, so he's not neon all
Exactly.
the time. It's really he's got some processes
Yeah.
that are gross.
What was that? The Viper in Street Trash? The
Oh yeah, the
contaminated.
drink. Yeah,
the
yeah,
drink.
yeah.
I hated that movie.
And they remade it.
You don't
I
wanna
know
watch the
they
remake?
did. I know
Yeah.
they did remake it. I have not seen the remake.
Well, before we read your mail, we should let you know how you can participate on this interactive portion of our show by following along on Facebook
Facebook.com/SaturdayNightFreakShow.
or X
At Sat Freak Show.
or by email
SaturdayFreakShow@yahoo.com.
or on Threads and Instagram at Saturday Night Freak Show. About tonight's movie, Vice Squad, Mike Welch writes in and says, a true classic from the education in LA life and street terms to the banger neon slime. It's up there with It's a Wonderful Life during the holidays.
Because Frank Capra Jr. is a
Yeah.
producer on this movie.
There we go.
I was like, I got this. He's not that out there.
All right. Thank you.
Michael Whitaker says, if you really want to see peak Wings Hauser, you need to check out the movie Mutant. Rip Wings, we lost a bad movie legend. To quote riff tracks, Red Bull gives you me.
All right. Good joke. Second hand. Such a good joke. It got me second hand. That was good.
Sorry. The week before we watched a movie called Looker, Aaron Dawn Gilmer
Great
writes in
song.
and says, yes. And wanted us to know that Terry Wells, the model at the beginning of the movie, was dating Michael Crichton.
Makes sense.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
The boy with the Jason tattoo says, I've never seen this movie, but I always thought the poster looked cool.
Looker.
Looker.
It is a
yeah,
cool
yeah.
poster.
It is a cool poster.
Cool poster.
Yeah.
It's like a model laying across like a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
of TV monitors.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so mutant sounds awesome. It says
Right.
two brothers discover that the residents of a small southern town are being infected by a form of toxic waste, turning them into blood ravenous zombies.
I've always wanted to see it because the poster's
I'm interested.
awesome.
The poster
wow.
is, yeah, here, let me pull it up for you
Okay,
guys.
all right.
The poster is pretty cool.
Yeah. Which I always
nice.
got confused with what was the other one. It
Ooh,
was
all right.
Yeah.
On the
yeah.
list.
all right. So now I guess
Holly, that's a long list.
I know. It's
Holy
a
shit.
I know.
Are
my
you
brain
adding
just-
I just saw
to it
Holly
right now?
scroll like 4 times up to get to the bottom of her list. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Mine's
yeah.
like that
Shit.
too,
I
yeah.
think that might be
I have
bigger than
sections
mine.
of my list.
I have sections too because I gotta
One
clump like
of
things
them
together.
is new because I had to start the list over again.
Looks like the poster for Creature. If you've ever seen
Yeah.
Creature, is
Yeah.
another one that. Okay, now we're gonna go around.
This is also why I never know why I pick something.
Right, exactly.
Like, how did you
Right,
find
yeah.
out about it? I don't know.
I don't know. I put it on the list
I don't
5 years
know.
ago, and now
I
I'm
don't
picking
know.
it. Yes.
It may have been something we talked about. It could be something that I fleetingly saw on IMDb. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
what we're gonna get
happens. Yeah.
next week.
Well, we're gonna tell you what we thought of Vice Squad, tonight's movie, starting with.
Michaela, what did you think of Vice Squad?
We were talking a little bit off mic, but I think we should bring it to the show too. That I like that this is a safe place for sleaze.
Yes,
because
there
we
we
were
go.
talking about how like you can't just recommend Angel to anybody
Right.
off the street. You know,
No.
you can't tell your
What's
parents.
Angel about? Well, it's about a hooker who's going through some murderous
Yes. A
things.
child
Someone's-
hooker.
A child hooker
Yeah.
who's
Honor
being
student by
stalked.
day.
Yes.
Right,
By night.
right.
The idea of telling my mom there's a movie called Frankenhooker, like she wouldn't even be able to handle the fact that that is a title for a movie. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
going to tell my mom that next week.
yeah. Say, Mom, have
See
you
how
ever
she
seen
feels.
Frankenhooker
Yeah.
by Frank Henneman,
My
the
dad,
genius?
all for it. My
Yeah.
mom, iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that we dip into the sleazy pool every once in a while around here.
Mhm.
Maybe we should do it more. I don't know, but it does feel like it could. It's a slippery slope of how does it just get bad and unpleasant to watch?
Right.
You
We
know?
don't want to promote that so
yeah,
much. And we
well,
want to make sure it's a
Yeah,
good.
too much of this I feel like could be, and I feel like we're watching the top quality sleaze too. I bet
That's
the
what we
lower
hope,
quality
yes,
stuff
yeah.
is like really
Yeah.
hard to watch. Because like imagine if this had no budget, how bad it would be. like they, I don't know. This could be so much worse and so much more disrespectful than it is.
Right.
Well,
you
that'd
know?
be like New York Ripper.
yeah.
That's what I said. I'm just like, it's no New York. Right. New York
Yeah.
Ripper.
Like, there were parts of this that were like almost highbrow.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
almost.
Yes, it
Right.
has some standard, and that's
Right.
amazing.
Filmmakers were behind this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I love that within the environment of the freak show, Colin can be like, "Angel's a really good movie,"
Right. And we will not be
and
like, how dare you?
You should,
Yeah.
We won't be like, "You should be put on a list." We'll be like,
It's like, no, we
"Okay,
understand.
all right,
Yeah,
tell me
yeah.
more,"
Yeah, yeah.
So I
I'll
love.
go on this journey with you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
right.
love sleaze movies. I hate when like. I think was it Looker or was it another movie I picked where everyone said it was really sleazy online and we watched it and we were like, we're not seeing it.
Yeah, we
It was
did that
something
recently.
recently. Yeah, so I hate it when you see everyone online being like, this movie's so sleazy, and
It's
then
like,
you
there's
watch
no-
it and you're
there's
like,
really no sleaze in
"Ow."
it.
Like maybe my brain is rotted by doing this show for so long.
I
that
think
I'm just
so
like-
because like
Yeah.
we've experienced so much. We're just like, that's not sleaze.
Exactly.
We can show you sleaze.
Yeah,
But
let-
do you want it?
Let me show you a little movie called Society. Yeah, let me blow your mind. Let me show you brain damage.
Show
You know,
you Werewolf Woman from the S.
yeah, seriously. It's like I've seen,
Ilsa.
I've seen,
Ilsa
Jesus.
She-Wolf. I'll show you sleaze.
I've seen things you can't
Right, I can
comprehend.
pull some
You
shit out
know,
of
you
my
know?
back pocket.
I'm glad I finally got to cross Vice Squad off the list, and
Right?
it delivered. It definitely delivered.
Yep.
This is one of the most terrifying performances I've ever seen in film. I'm glad I didn't see it as a child or even a young adult and be completely traumatized by Wings Hauser for the rest of my life. Because even as an adult, I was like, this is really harrowing. And there were certain scenes where I'd be like, I wouldn't mind if they cut away anytime now.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they didn't. Great job. Thanks to the team. Everyone did a great job. A+ performances. If there was sleazy Oscars, this would be an Oscar bait movie,
Right.
you know? You got to check it out, but you got to know that this is for you. Which if you've listened to this,
Yeah.
you know whether or not it's for you. Some movies, just by the title, you can tell, am I going to be able to watch this or not? Vice Squad, you know exactly where it's going to be.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you got to see it. I mean, Wings is really giving it his all, and I love it.
Yep.
Great. Wow, what an experience. I feel like I'm going to be digesting it for a while still, to be
Mhm.
honest. I feel like I'm still processing. But yeah, I definitely recommend. Sean, what do you think?
L.A. sleaze, man. I like.
That's why we love Maxine. You know?
Right. Just like, yeah. To come out here right now and be like, I love LA sleaze. I mean, like, well, this is the movie. It's just like, I was very entertained by the movie. But like Michaela said, you got to know what you're getting into when you come into a movie. Vice Squad. It is. It's got the elements I like. It's Los Angeles. It's the '80s. It's that neon coloring. It's the streets that I've driven in my life, and so I love an LA movie. I'm partial to it. Wings Hauser is just psychotic. And to know, as we've discovered here tonight, he's a good man and with a big heart that helps with this, but he's really he's going all out for this movie, and I appreciate that. It really is just like the unstoppable sleazebag and the cops against him and the LA, and they're fighting the neon light and the sex workers, and it's that movie. And I liked it. I really liked it. I appreciated it. You're getting your slice of sleaze with this one, and I recommend it to you guys. It looked good. Like, the cinematography was good. The direction was good. Like, we come with sleaze, but we're also like they do sleaze very well, and you'll enjoy it, and it's entertaining. And just a celebration to Wings Hauser. God bless him. Good choice tonight, Colin. Like, I'm glad to finally watch Vice Squad. I enjoyed it. That's a good movie. Again, you gotta know what you're getting into. You gotta know what you like coming into Vice Squad. But if you know that you like it, you're gonna like it. So Vice Squad, I recommend it. Holly, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think the two of you summed it up. Like, we've been talking about this movie for a long time. I had never seen it. I honestly didn't know anything about it other than like what we've talked about. But it met my expectations. It exceeded my expectations. Yeah, we like a good sleaze movie that's well done.
right.
Curated sleaze, yeah.
Yes, curated sleaze.
Yes.
But I mean, we're always talking about like we appreciate movies that are grown up content, and we don't get that enough these days. We just get like the factory movies nowadays. But this was a solid movie. I enjoyed it. I hated it at the same time. Like, it's just so uncomfortable, and it's not enjoyable content, but it's a good movie. Like,
Right, if you want to feel good about the world, you're not going to watch this movie.
No, definitely not.
It's the streets, the underbelly of LA. Like, it's not enjoyable stuff, but at the same time, like, it's
a good movie.
It's well made. It's well shot. It's well produced.
Acted, yeah.
The acting is really good. Like you said earlier, it felt natural in the scenes. It didn't feel like it was over the top. You had like every 80s LA cliche under the sun, but it still felt natural. It felt like these people were actually just interacting on the streets of LA.
How do you feel about people stealing your paper clips?
That was great.
Yeah, there was
I'm talking about realism in film.
No, honestly, the most relatable character in this movie to me was the cop that was freaking the fuck out over people stealing his paper clips. Because
Understood.
I've in my job, I've often been like the office manager who does the ordering, so I do get very upset when people steal my paper clips. There's a whole supply closet. I stock it. You don't have to take mine. We never have big paper clips at the office. We never have big paper clips.
Big paper clips.
It drives me up the fucking wall. So I understand why he was raging about it.
Yes.
Most relatable character in the movie. But yeah, no, I liked it a lot. I thought this was it had me hooked start to finish. Wings Hauser, my God, that man, he was a force. He was a force.
Yep.
R.I.P. to an incredible actor, an underappreciated actor. But yeah, Vice Squad, I recommend for sure. Colin, take us home.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm going with the chorus here. I was super impressed by the movie, by Wings Hauser. I think, he's unstoppable. Terminator-like, right? Like, this guy can get out of every situation and is just horrifying, intimidating. and it's an incredible performance. I guess the takeaways. I like look at this movie and you're like, before this, was there a more clear delineation between the white hats and the black hats? In movies, this is like kind of throws everybody into a stew where, like, the good guys seem,
Yes.
it's like their goals are just, but it's
But
like
their
they're still
tactics
swimming around it, and their tactics. I mean, they're threatening to kill people, and
Yes.
holding them at knife point.
They're holding
threatening-
people in the face of dead people, going, "Look at it!"
Yeah.
Like you
so-
probably could have convinced her less aggressively.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
saying.
I mean, I get where he was in the moment.
Right, right,
still,
right,
It's
right.
like that's
You probably could have just
outside
been
of
like, "Hey, he killed Ginger. Can you help us?"
Right.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
My God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess the moral equivalency aside, it's a slice of life of that era, which I think people are still just varied and going to do their stuff, and it exists out there, and I don't think it comes off as like like we're going to do a slice life of the Vice Squad. These are the people who ride the line that, separate, it is just kind of a portrait of humanity with this like, absolute psychotic, like how does the system deal with this like psychotic, personality, just like running rampant all over everything.
Right.
Gary Sherman, I think also, like I said, it's like he never really, it seemed like, got his due prior to like the home video era. And now it's like, it's nice to go back and look at his stuff and go like, oh, this guy actually was like doing significant things. You should check out like the other movie. I haven't seen Poltergeist 3, I guess, in a very long time. So I'll have to go check that one out again. But yeah, it's I think it's a classy sleaze movie. And I guess I'm saying that because I know it has its own like moral line.
Yes. Oh yeah,
And there are movies that will-
non-classy sleaze movies.
Yes, that just
definitely.
go past it. And you're like, ugh,
Yes.
like who are the madmen
Right.
who made this?
And we were sitting here in this movie going, oh,
Yeah.
are they gonna do it? And,
Yeah,
it did end up being classier than
Yeah.
what it could have been.
They pushed the line and then just cut it like right where. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, is that the time it was made? Like now, would they, go further just for shock?
Probably.
It's like you
Yeah.
have to be shocked more for it to register.
If it was like
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy's Vice Squad.
Right?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Way different.
Yeah.
Which is
Don't give him that. Oh,
Don't
no.
no, it's out there now.
No,
I'm sorry.
don't
I put
do
it out
it.
there.
No.
I'm sorry. I take it back. That
man
should
is
never
a
happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
why do you speak such words?
I should never have said that. I'm sorry.
But I would.
To quote Terrence Stamp, why do you say such when you know I will kill you for it?
That's a hearty recommendation. You should go check it out. It's unfortunate that more people don't know about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's
know about it, accept it, kind of what it was.
I
And
was like,
all
not
that,
only
yeah.
should they, but now they have to.
now they have to. That's right.
Truly, yeah.
It's,
Legally
The
by
internet,
hand,
you're right. The internet requires it.
that's right. By us recommending an agreement at the Saturday Night Freak Show. So next week we're going to watch a movie that's chosen by.
John, what do you have in store for us next week?
I think we're going to go with a mid-'90s movie. A mid-'90s creature feature.
I'm with you.
A mid-'90s creature feature called Mosquito.
Oh, okay.
Mosquito.
Yeah.
All
We're gonna
right.
get-
Ooh.
This isn't like the movie
We're
that
gonna
was
get-
a movie within the movie of Matinee, right? You remember Matinee with
I
John
remember
Goodman?
Matinee's really good.
Was
I
that
love
mo-
Matinee.
Was that Mosquito?
I think there was.
The giant mosquito.
I think there was something in that. I've never seen Matinee.
Oh, Matinee's really good.
Yeah,
But from what I remember of the poster art of Matinee, it involved that, right?
Yeah, because they show he's like William Castle.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
kinda
So there was
yeah.
something in
There's
that.
a
No.
movie called
No, this is
This
different.
is Gunnar
this is,
Hansen?
this is what?
Gunnar Hansen is in this? Is it 1994? Is that the one you
94,
picked?
95? Like,
Yeah.
all right, I've never
Gunnar
seen
Hansen?
it. I've
Okay.
never seen it,
Okay,
so we're
okay.
bringing something I've never
Yeah.
seen, but I believe that's the one.
Okay.
Okay.
Giant monsters.
Yes,
So
we are a monster movie with it's mosquitoes, so it's going to be giant mosquitoes sucking the blood out of
Okay.
human
But
beings.
this is a journey we're all going to take together, right?
Yes,
Yep.
we have. I don't think anybody has seen
No,
this. So
I
we'll,
haven't.
All right.
we'll take
All
it
right.
together.
Let's do
Mosquito,
it.
Mosquito from 1994. If you wanna
bugs,
play along.
big bugs.
All right. Well, that's next week on the Saturday Night Freak Show. We hope you'll join us. And until then, ladies and germs, the basement is going dark.